Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you another episode of our Transport Fever Let's Play. In today's episode, I want to go ahead and deal with the station overcrowding. So in the last two episodes, we've gone ahead and we've looked at buses, and buses, it's mainly been in riding and sale. These have been the main focal points, I guess you could say. I've also worked on other stuff here and there, but the issues of traffic in buses are... there are still issues with traffic. Not as bad as they were anyway. Now basically the trams still aren't making profit, and I know why the trams aren't making profit now. It's basically just because I'm having them go around too many stops. Like, the majority of people just want to go, for example, from this bus station here up to the train station. That is literally all they want to do. Simple as, right? However, I'm not really allowing for that, and I'm getting the trams to go all around the city where they're not making as much money, so I need to go ahead and split that into two lines. Which I will do, but not in this episode, because as I said, I want to focus on... there's just too many people waiting at train stations, and I've been talking about it for a while. I want to go ahead and create a second line. So if we look at Haverhill, right, there's two trains in Haverhill right now. This one going off towards Chatham, and this one up here is going up towards Loughton. They're both full, and that's a problem. Now I could go ahead and add in more trains, yes, very much so. However, the frequency is down at 3 minutes, which for a train, to be honest, is pretty good, and it's going to be very difficult to go ahead and improve upon that. Both trains are doing exceptionally well. That train line there is at 17 million, and this other one's at 23 million, so we can definitely go ahead and, I think, break this big main line down, because Haverhill's really busy. We come up the hill to Loughton. Loughton's really busy. And guess what, if we go along to Royston? Actually, Royston isn't too bad. But going up the line here, up to Fairford, I mean, come on, what is that, like, 284, interestingly, they're all waiting to go the one way. It's just because a train pulled in, mind you, and it's not full. The problem is, though, is that I need to go ahead and break the circle down into smaller circles. That is where I need to go ahead and work on things, and I think it has sort of helped out with a small circle here. As you can see, we've got Ryde, Chatham, Wembley, Sale. That's on line number 2, and that line has gone ahead and, I guess, made things a little bit easier, and has meant that trains aren't backing up as much. So I think we just need to go ahead and break down this big, large line, and that's what we're going to do in today's episode. So, how are we going to break it down? It's a good question. I've had a think, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to put Haverhill, Loughton, Royston and Chatham onto the one line. Now, for that to happen, we're going to have to go ahead and connect up Chatham, and Royston. Now, this is difficult because there's two hills in the way, pretty much. There's this large hill here, which I just don't like it. It's just in an inconvenient place, and to be honest, so is this one as well for Royston. So, how are we going to solve this issue? Well, we have a choice, and I think we're going to go via Will's Den. So we're actually going to add in an extra train line, but this can create loads of different loops, which I'm actually quite excited for. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the train line basically leave here. This is what we're going to have here. So, to start with, we're going to go ahead and just do that. Not with that kind of line though. I want to go ahead and obviously use high speed because we're not using old. I don't think I've ever used a normal speed line. So you're going to curl off like that, it's no problem. And then you are going to hopefully follow suit. However, this always causes an issue. So let's see if we can get this to actually work. Oh, it actually worked. That's surprising. Because half the time when I go ahead and try and make level crossings or extend level crossings, it just fucks the whole system up. Anyway, what we're going to have for you is we're going to have you just come straight from the other line. I don't really want to go ahead and make this too complicated for the time being. So you two lines are going to head off around this way, and I guess, I mean, there's a line that comes out of Ryde which comes down to the water anyway, so I guess you guys are going to be running pretty parallel, to be honest. But what we're going to do is we're going to start running you down here, and I'm going to turn the contour lines on for obvious reasons. So right here is really flat, which I like. However, going down, it doesn't drop too much, to be fair. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go ahead and try and make a relatively straight line coming down here, and just make it as, one, cheap for me as possible, but also two, the more hills you have, obviously slower trains go and stuff like that, so I just want to go ahead and avoid that as much as possible. So we're going to have you run to about there, and then what we're going to do, I'll double up the line later on. Where are we going to have the station in Willesden? That's the real question. And how easy is it going to connect into Royston? So the Royston line's there, so this corner here seems like an ideal junction to have a line coming off, which I'd be quite happy with, and it could come. And I'm starting to think it's probably going to be this side of town here. And I think this corner here looks like quite a nice corner, to be honest. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm very quickly going to link these two roads up. We're then going to jump into railway stations. Now this one is... We're going to build it a 4 platform. We're going to build it really long, and we're going to build high speed. Just so, and we might as well just go ahead and build all train stations going forward 320. Just to make my life easier. So let's go ahead and build that there, and that really gives us something to work with now. So, from here we need to basically land roughly where my mouse is, and hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this left hand side, because thinking about it long term, the right hand side could go off in the distance to Philly there, which has a lot of passengers waiting. And that could also create another sub-circle, which, you know what, I mean, the more sub-circles, I'm hoping that just less issues to do with overcrowding, because you can see Ryde in the distance as well. I think those are two of my worst towns, Philly and Ryde, and of course they have to be in sight of what I'm working on right now. Anyway, so we're going to have you cross over the road about here, and then you should both be pretty much in line, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw a direct connection and see what this does. And of course it has to be a new year as I'm trying to build something, so we could get a boat under there. That's going to cost not as much as I really thought it was going to cost, actually. Now, there is a wee bit of an issue here, but I think it's sorted itself, so overall that's looking good, nice and straight. Intersects the road, it goes through, I mean, there's a slight hill here, but it's not too bad. It's cut away, it's built a nice bridge at a good height, I like that. And then it comes up here and it looks pretty natural, it's not cut away at the ground at all. So that's that part done. Now going up and connecting up to the Royston line, as I said, I think we're going to have the cutout probably coming about here. Now this is going to be a bit difficult to do. I mean, it is an ideal corner for this, but I just want to see how easy this is to implement. So we're going to have you come off like that. And then ideally we're just going to have you come off like that. And, that looks weird there. Though I think it's valid. I'm not 100% sure though, I guess we'll find out as we go on. But I think that's that successfully built, and then what we need to do is just build towards Willesden pretty much. It's relatively flat, I mean, there are a fair amount of contour lines, but I think you should just go up and down and up and down, and overall the lands level is in general quite flat. So we'll go ahead and build that there. That has... especially that bump there, and I'm starting to look at this game like a wee bit more of a perfectionist. Like, I want to sort of get away from me thinking of this game like, oh, that'll do. You know, I don't think I should ever be using that term. I think I should be going up and beyond and seeing what I can do. So there's a wee bit too much terraforming there, which I don't like. Now, where's the station? The station's over... Actually, you know what? Why don't we instead go off this way? Because we can get a good angle into the station here. So this is starting to cause me a little bit of an issue with the height. So what I think we'll do is we'll maybe just go ahead and drop down the height, though for some reason we're not able to. You know, we'll do that there, which isn't too bad. However, it really needs to... And this is where the problem is going to start to come in with a bridge, and I really want to avoid a bridge at all costs. So what I think we'll do is we'll do something like that to there, and then we'll go ahead and load it if we can. Though for some reason my keyboard doesn't want to work. Oh, the reason is I can't actually load it, which is a bit... That's a bit stupid, so I guess we're just going to have to deal with the weird terrain here. This is going to annoy me. I want it to go down slowly, which it sort of is now. I don't want it to build a tunnel though. Why the gods on earth would I want it to build a tunnel? So if you build to there, I can deal with that. Then I need it to come... And this is where we're having issues now. I mean, the good thing is we have the money to go ahead and play around with this, so let's go ahead and get rid of this whole bridge section here. Let's just get rid of you, because you've not really worked out the way I've wanted you to. So let's go ahead and try this again. So can we lower you? No, we can't. So we'll build you to about there. then just do not cause me a bridge. There we go. So that's a wee bit more gradual. I mean, it's still not pretty on the landscape, but at least we're not creating a bridge or a tunnel, and you're now leveled out. So we'll have you intersect like that over that road there, no problem. We're then going to go ahead and have you run to about there, and this should just be one more intersection across the road, and it should be an easy arrival into the train station. And again, you'll come into, well, it's this right hand side now, and then you should connect no problem. So there we go, that is the brand new line created. What I'm going to do, I mean, it's got a bit of a bend here, and what I'm going to do is I'm very quickly just going to go ahead and jump into some... I was just looking on the menus, actually looking a wee bit more at this game. We're just going to go ahead and smooth out this terrain because it looks hideous, and I think it's going to be really difficult to get it back to totally normal, but I mean, if I can look at it and go, oh, you know, it's not obvious that there was a failed attempt there at a junction, then that would be good. Whereas you can currently see this is a major fail at laying of some railway track. That doesn't look too bad now, just blending it in slowly but surely. It'd be good if there was a sharpness or something, you know, because it did take quite a long time to go ahead and smooth that out. So that's that sorted, and we have, it's because there's an extra bit of line there actually, which is interesting. When I go ahead and double up the line, which I'm going to very quickly do off camera, hopefully we won't get too many more issues. Right, okay, so that is the new line doubled up. Wonderful, and I've also put lots of signals on it, quite a lot, just to go ahead, even closer than actually the old line, just to go ahead and allow lots of trains. Now, I was thinking about this, and this isn't going to necessarily solve our issue, because we're going to create a loop, which goes from Chatham, Haverhill, Loughton and Royston, and Willesden, and that's going to be a loop. However, the ride... I mean, the wider loop's still going to want to function, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use this piece of track here, or we can go ahead and play around with it. What we can do is we need to go ahead and make an opposite circle, basically. We're splitting this circle in two, so we need to ride Willesden, Greenlays, Fairford, Pateley Bridge, Philly line is what we need. So that's quite easy to implement as well. We're basically just going to go ahead and eventually we're going to have to quadruple up this track. We're not going to probably do that in this episode. Well, we might, but we just need to go ahead and alter these junctions here. That's the big thing. So we need to go ahead and just create a junction which basically just spurs off and comes from around here. That's really what we need to do, and that's what we need to go ahead and do. So we're going to go ahead and do it. So let's see if we can get second time lucky, which I think we could actually here. So bring you to about there, and that was that line there, and then what we're going to do is, it's just getting across the road. Getting across the road is the difficult part. We managed to do that again successfully. I mean, there's 2 level crossings in quite close proximity there, but this road in general terms of traffic is not bad. Even for just single lanes, which is quite nice. I think it's because there's 2 different possibilities of trains you can get. You can either get the main line or you can get the loop 2. So I mean, there's also buses as well, so I mean there's like so many transport options you can take, so there's not really any worry, I guess you could say. But what we're going to do is we're going to have you, hopefully naturally, which I would say that's pretty natural actually, come into there like that. Again, we've got this bit here which hasn't got the... Can't remember what those concrete beams are called. I think they're called brackets or braces, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll probably need to learn that for the next time. Anyway, we're into 1975. Still playing the game on ×1 speed, just a note by the way. I mean, I don't know how many more episodes this is going to go on for. I think maybe 2 or 3. I then think that, and then I'm like, oh right, to be honest, I could just keep the series going, but I've got a brand new series in mind, which I've already made graphics for, and it's going to go just a little bit more than this series. This series has been good, don't get me wrong, but this is me basically just playing the game for the first time, and now I can go ahead and use all I've learned and make a better map. That's really fundamentally what I'm going to go ahead and do. Anyway, so that is this junction added in, which is also going to need some more signals around about here. Again, we're keeping up with this one-way system, so we're going to have a signal there and a signal there. Yes, I'm also going to have a signal there and a signal there. Actually, we don't need that many signals, we only need 1 for each side. I guess we need you there and you there. I mean, there's not really going to be as many problems on this on this part of the line. It's mainly going to be this new part of the line we've built which connects up Will's Den. This is where the collisions could occur. Now the collisions aren't going to occur anyway because you can't, as far as I know, have crashes in this game, but the signals are spaced really close together and I'm really happy with how everything's going here. Anyway, so we need to go ahead and basically do the exact opposite of what we have just done, and I guess we're going to have a, if trains want to stop and pass each other, I'm going to give them that option. So we're going to go ahead and build here. We're going to build quite well, I think. We're going to build you over to there, and then we're going to build you... Nope. Okay, I think it's best we build the other way anyway. Nope, come on. You're so close. There we go. So that's no problem there. It basically just means that, for example, if a train is coming along and it is going to go into the left-hand side, then a train which has a smaller load can go into the right-hand side and it can overtake the one which is going to take longer to wait and stop. That's the principle of doing this. So, oh, this is going to be difficult here. Add that there. There's signals in the way. I've really not placed signals well this time. Or I might just need to go ahead. I might just have to do this actually. Yeah, this is going to be the easy way out here, and then connect you in a bit further up. So, I mean, the approach at this side isn't, it's not bad. I really do like the crossovers actually. I can't wait to see some trains using that as a crossover. And at the other end looks much nicer, I do feel. Really happy with how that looks. So we do need to go ahead and add in a shit more, not a station, that's for sure. And the screen goes dark for some reason when that happens. I'm guessing it's a game glitch. We need to go ahead and add in a lot, and I mean a lot more signals. So, have you guys are there, so we've got a red light there. Now what I need is, for basically trains that are leaving the station, so trains are only going to leave the station this way, so we're going to have a signal there and a signal there, just so you guys merging onto this line. It doesn't matter about the trains coming in, so those two signals are in the correct place. Now trains leaving from this side, we're going to have a signal probably about there, and a signal all the way up here, and these two are just in the way. So that is that done. Then finally we need to go ahead and add in and make this into a bit more of a better junction here as well. And this will be the final one. And again, I mean, this is why I really like this junction. It's going to be pretty much the perfect triangle. Illuminati confirmed, I know. But it is going to be I mean, as long as I get my dimensions right here, this triangle should look pretty tasty. Anyway, so you're going to loop out, and you're pretty much, I just want you to just swing in like that, perfectly like that. Now, there's a wee bit of a hill on this one, but it's not even that bad, to be honest. So you connect into there, no problem, and then we're just going to have the exact same coming out like so, and then we're going to have you loop right round here. Hopefully behave yourself. Yep, there we go. And see if we can get this reconnected before the light. That would be wonderful. Nope, you're there. Yep, there we go. Right, okay, so that's those lights in a good position, which I'm happy about. Just need to go ahead and add in a few more signals. Not that many signals. Signal there, and then we need just basically up this end here, signal here and signal here. There's a signal there and a signal there, and there's plenty of signals for all of this bit here, and we're all good. So with that done, we can go ahead and create basically the principle of this episode, the two different loops. So the loops are going to be the Ride, Will's Den, Fairford's, Pateley Bridge, Greenlays, Philly line, and then there's going to be the opposite of that, so up this end of the map. As you can see, the amount of people in the train stations now has just reached a ridiculous point, and I knew it was going to. 500 people waiting at this one station, so you can definitely tell it's time to go ahead and make a change, that's for sure. So we're on to, Jesus, 600 million, so it means we can buy a lot of trains, and we're going to have to buy a lot of trains, if that makes any sense. We can go ahead and sell you guys. You're giving me 5 million, which isn't bad, and then we've also got more old trains to go ahead and sell, which is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create the new lines first of all, and then we'll just go ahead and, because I mean the main loop's going now, I guess, so kind of a shame. It's been I mean that's our oldest line. It wasn't always that big, or was it always that big? Or no, I guess it wasn't always a loop. Originally it went from Ride, Chatham, Haverhill, Loughton, and then it got extended into a loop. So it is our oldest loop in general though. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to have, this train station is going to be so busy, so You're going to start here at Chatham, and then you're going to go to Chatham up to Willesden. Willesden is going to get its first ever train. You're then going to pour into Royston, which has 4 platforms, which we should probably make advantage of. Same with Loughton. You're going to go to Loughton, and then Haverhill is busy, busy, busy. How busy are you? Yeah, 500. I mean, that's a lot of people. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, so you are going to be the. I don't know. We're just going to be left. No, you need to start with a T. Then you're going to be left loop. And you are you clockwise or anti-clockwise? So you go that way, so you're anti-clockwise. And you're the anti. So that's the T left loop anti, which to me makes sense, don't worry. It might not to you, it will make sense to you guys in a second, don't worry. And then we're going to go ahead and do the vice versa of that. So Chatham to Haverhill, Haverhill up the hill to Loughton, and we really do need to make use of those 4 platforms in there. I really think we do, because going forward, I mean, these train stations are busy enough as they are, but going forward they're going to get even busier. So you're going to come into here, and then that should be that created successfully. Again, just make it a little bit of a easier color. So you're going to be the T, you're going to be the left loop, and then you're going to be, God, let me think about this. The T left loop, and you're just going to be the clockwise loop, or clockwise part of it. So if we go ahead and look at our lines, you can see now there is correct line set up on here, which is great. Wonderful. So we can go ahead and leave that for now, and we're going to go ahead and do the vice versa. So we're going to go ahead and create, now the problem is that the only changeover point is going to be Willesden going forward. And, I've not thought this totally through. So a crossover point is going to be Willesden, because Willesden is where the 2 loops only come together. However, the loops technically can come together on this stretch, which also goes from Ryde to Chatham. So I might continue to have just an old train which goes from Ryde, Chatham, Haverhill and Loughton. Maybe, and we could quadruple that line. Because, I mean, going forward, it's pretty much just going to be trains. I still want to tamper with buses, but there's not really much point in buses in between cities. There's only points and connects, and as I said, I will solve them in a later episode. Probably next episode, to be honest. Anyway, so Ryde, which is busy as shit. So this is the right loop. You're going to go into Willesden, you're then going to come up the line here, and you're going to bounce through this tunnel, and you're going to arrive in the small station of Greenlays. You're then going to come up here to Fairford, which is a mighty bit bigger, and I don't know why it keeps selecting grey. Grey is, I mean, I don't mind the colour grey, it's just difficult to see on a grey object, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and again change you to a red this time. Now you're going to be the, going forwards, you're going to be the T. You're going to be the right loop, or right half, did I call it? I think I called it the right half. Now you are going from left to right, so you're going in a clockwise motion. I'm right in saying I had to think about that there. And then basically again we're just going to go ahead and do the inverse. So new line, create the line. And then you're going to go from right, again that stupid grey, into Philly. Philly into Paisley Bridge to Fairford, Fairford to Greenlays. It's going to be weird not using these names anymore going forward, because in our new series, I mean, I have selected the map already, and I'm really looking forward to actually. I'm going to be able to pronounce all the names, no problem. It should be a good laugh, and I hope that you will learn something from it too. Again, I'm not spoiling it yet, though, and we'll wait for the first episode, which will be out later this week probably. I mean, the next few days are going to be Transport Fever on this map, then we'll play some H1Z1, maybe some Cities Skylines, and we'll just have to see. Anyway, so right half, and you're the anti-clockwise. So that's all the lines set up. I'm really happy with all the lines set up now. Now, this is where we're going to have some issues. So we need to go ahead and add in trains into our new line. Now, we have the money, which is good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the train stem from here, just to make my life, I think this should make my life easier, I hope. Though I'm not 100% sure if it will. So what I want is I want extremely long siding. Like, I mean an extremely long siding. Just so trains can wait on the siding and not the main line. That's the principle of this. So you're going to be one long ass siding. And I'm going to have this, don't worry, I'm going to have one at each side. So there's a really long siding there, which is great. And then about halfway along, roughly here, you guys are going to curl in at a really sharp angle. Like so. And then we're going to have you curl in as well. Like that. And then eventually you two are going to come together. Not too much curvature. Ah, come on. Give me a break. Right, too much curvature. There we go. So that is that there. And then we're going to build the engine house up the back here. So that is that side done. We'll just go ahead and do the same for this side here. And again, we'll have to add in more signals. So have a really long side. It just means that if trains are queuing, new trains are about to go on the line, it doesn't block the main line itself. That's the principle. And saying that, the siding might actually not be long enough, but we'll see going forwards. Because we're pretty much just going to go ahead and buy new trains, like, outright. And I've not really done this in the middle, to be honest. That's for sure. Anyway, so you're going to loop round, and you're going to go into about there. Then we're going to have something which stems off this. Oh, we have a new year. Do we have a new train? Oh, we have Concorde, though. That's interesting. Again, we're not building planes on this map, unfortunately. So we close out of both you guys. Thank you, Concorde. Let's just try and loop you into about there. That works much better this time. And then we can have the engine depot in there. So that means the trains can start off by going out onto either side, which is good. Anyway, so let's go ahead and actually build these train depots, which is this one here. So let's go ahead and add you on to the end here. Catenaries, yes, obviously. So it only costs 28,000 for the train depot, not a lot. And let's go ahead and assign a lot of new trains. Now, currently we've still got the main loop running. Do note we still got the main loop running, and I'm going to keep the main loop running for the time being. So we're going to go ahead and use a wee bit more of an advanced train. What train are we going to use? I think we are going to... Ooh. I think it's time to go into electric. Now these trains are wonderfully large and they're great, having a locomotive with loads of engines, but I just do think it's time to go ahead and go into electrical trains. I just do. Now this one here can carry 64 passengers. It's quite short, so we can have lots of them on the line. It's got a fast loading speed of 11, which is much better than the current. The current trains take a long time. It's only got a 2 loading speed, which is just not ideal. Now, these have about half the passengers, I guess you could say, but I think, can we couple 2 of these together? No, we can't, unfortunately. Nonetheless, this is what we're going to use going forward, but we're going to use a lot of them, and I mean a lot of them. The frequency is going to be down a lot. So, I mean, it's costing me 10 million each, and I've built, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so we've got 10. Which... it could be classified as a lot, you know. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start you guys off, and there's going to be so much traffic on my lines for a while. So much traffic. So looking at this, we've got the right half and we've got the left loop. So let's go ahead and assign you to the left loop ante. So off you 10 trains go. So let's see you guys rolling out of the station here. Now they can get up to 125 kilometers per hour, which is pretty much, I think the current trains maybe go a little bit faster, but not by much. And I quite like, I just think this is the way going forward. As I said over the past few episodes, I've really wanted to give electric trains a go, and I think it's time to. So hopefully you'll start to pick up speed now. I'm just going to follow you for a bit actually and see how you do. So this is you coming onto the main line now. The light is at green, so we're good to go because there's obviously nothing in front of us yet. This is the first train out. I still need to add in some more signals actually. The frame rate is... it's just this game can be a bit... in this camera especially. Now you can get up to 125, which on the straight you should have no problem of getting up to at all. Do note that I'm only playing on ×1 speed right now, so and sometimes in previous arc cameras, I would have been on ×2 speed. So, but that's us reached the maximum, which isn't too bad. So I'll let you continue off and I'll let you do your thing really. So that is going to send out lots of trains there. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is just basically buy loads more. That's a simple thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that there has cost me again another pretty much 100 mil. But I mean that's not too much of a problem. So you're going to get assigned to the left loop going clockwise. So it's going to take a while, and I'm going to put this onto 2 times just so we can get all the trains out of depot, because it is going to take one long ass time for that to happen. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and assign trains coming out of here. And then we're probably going to have to start to work on doubling up this part of the line, because it's going to be a real bitch. It is going to be a real bitch. I mean, I want to go ahead and double up lots of parts of the line, or triple or quadruple them, I guess you could say. So that is the first electrical train arriving at Will's Den. That's going to take a while to get going there. But let's go ahead and assign you guys. Did I assign you guys the correct line? Shit, that's a very good point. Hold up, let me think about this. So, what is the left loop and what is the right loop? So you're on the left loop, and the left loop is... Oh my sweet Jesus, the colour clashes. So the left loop is... Oh, I should have signed you from this side. Yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up a little bit. So you guys are basically going to have to come out of here and then cross over. Is what I really need you guys to do. Actually, wait, I don't really. Well, some of you guys do, some of you guys don't, I guess. We'll just put these crossovers in here. I've confused myself now. Hopefully it'll work itself out. Well, do you cross over? You should cross. No, you shouldn't cross. No, this is fine actually. This is no worries. This is no worries at all. It would have been better, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. So, anyway, we can have another crossover here. I'm going to have to put so many signals and just edit this whole track, to be honest. I mean, this track is a bit of a mess, if you can't tell already. Just the amount of junctions going on here, it's just actual crazy. Anyway, we need to go ahead and keep the electric trains rolling out. So let's go ahead and add in the remainder electric trains. So another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You guys are going to get sent onto the right half anti-clockwise. So off you guys go, slowly but surely. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was maybe 11. Yeah, it was 11. Just go ahead and sell one of you guys. So we have spent quite a bit of money. You're going to go into the right half. I think that's everyone assigned now. I can just tell by the line manager, to be honest. So, whoa. So, both of the left loop clockwise and anti-clockwise have got trains running, no problem. And then the right half is all good. And the frequency for the right half is roughly just over 2 minutes, which is pretty good. And then looking at the left loop, it's actually about 100 seconds, which is even better. So those guys are going to roll out, and you guys are going to start to get to work on your respective lines. Now there's going to start to be a lot of train queues because there's not enough passing spaces in general right now. We've got the overall loop, and the overall loop, I mean, oh, you're down at 61, that's good. I mean, there's just going to be a bit of traffic. That's the only problem going forward here. So, I mean, you should pretty much fill up, no problem. Fill up, no problem. So that's good to see. So you guys are on your way, and then the next train will come in when you reach the next light, which should just be at the other side of the station. So you should advance, so that's no problem. I don't mind a little wait like that. We've got our next. I mean, these trains, I guess, need to learn how to space out, which they will in time. We'll keep the main loop going for now. However, going forward, we're obviously going to have to go ahead and get rid of it. These big trains are still really full. And I'm half tempted to keep the main line, to be honest. Because I do think the trains can fit in. I mean, we'll see how things go. But one thing we definitely need to do is go ahead and double up certain lines anyway. Especially this year, because this is going to be chock-a-block. When everything gets going properly, This is going to be chock-a-block. I mean, it needs quadrupled, it needs double-doubled. That's probably a better saying, double-doubled, I prefer that. So hopefully Willesden will start to get a bit more use as well. So far the station is doing not bad. It's got 8 passengers, but that'll only build, I guess Willesden doesn't exactly have a connect either though. I'm not that in a rush to go ahead and put a connect into it just because I don't feel it necessarily needs one. One thing I would like though is to see trains not waiting and trains just going into the other side of the station. There's a reason there are 4 platforms here, so use 4 platforms please. But as you can see, and I don't think we can go ahead and direct specific trains actually into a certain side of the station. That's the problem. That is something I don't really like here. What I'm thinking about doing is, yeah, what I'm thinking in my head works. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you stem out. Let me think. It does work. So what I need you to do is come along there like that. Wee bit of an issue there, but not too bad. And then you're going to stem out like that. You can maybe see what I'm trying to achieve here. Now, are you going to be one massive crossroad? I don't want 2 crossroads, because this could cause a lot of traffic congestions here. So we'll have you stem to about there. We're going to have 2 crossovers, unfortunately. 2 level crossings. This will work though, don't worry, this will work. So we'll have you run to about there. Then what we're going to do is, I'm just checking to make sure we're still making profit. Then you're going to come back along here and you're going to hug the current line. Like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just basically, you're going to hug the line the whole way until you get to the junction in between Royston and this junction up here. And that means that there will not be any collisions or any waiting on this side of the line, because this part of the line will be, I guess, doubled up, which will just make my life so much easier. And means, I mean, the reason we're building this is for more profit. That's the bottom line. So going ahead and doing this, it's adding quite a steep embankment actually, but I kind of like it, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't exactly look natural, but the thing is about trains is that trains struggle to go up hills. That's the fundamental fact, that they can't really go on a gradient better than about 3 degrees, and that's why trains just cut through anything. You'll see them on embankments, you'll see them on this and that. So anyway, the purpose of this is basically to run this into here. If it's going to let me, which it is going to let me, and that just basically means that trains don't have to jump over onto this line, these 2 lines here to the right. They can just use the ones to the left, and it makes life much more simple, you know. And I'm probably going to have to do this for this whole stretch at both sides of Willesden, because this is going to be the collision point. This is going to be the point where both railway lines, you know, they both use this part, and the more trains we add, the more just complicated it's really going to get. After we've built this though, I don't know if it'll automatically change this. I don't think it will, so we might have to make a few changes ourselves. I just want to go ahead and check just basically how profitable the overall train lines are doing, our new ones, because I think they'll take a while to kick in. I mean, 1, it's a new line, 2, it's new trains, which I'm anxious about, but I really want the electric to work, because electric, when we're getting to this stage, electric's the way forward. Like, oh no, can we not do a quadruple? We can do that for some reason, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm not at all sure why it's letting me not do a 4-way. That's so strange. I'm allowed to do that, so we'll do that. I mean, it doesn't cause me too much issue. And then that should run into there, and there we go. So that should hopefully, I mean, I'm a bit just optimistic, but I'm also scared about using electrical trains. I mean, we're at 1977, so steam trains are definitely on the out. That is for sure. Anyway, so let's look at the new line. So you're losing me 8 million, great start. You're losing me 15 million, even worse start. Our main line loops are still doing extremely well though. Yeah, you guys are losing a lot. But it is balanced out by the main loops really, so let's go ahead and first of all, are these new? No, they're not getting used yet, so we'll have to work on that and change that up at some stage, which we will do. It just means that all 4 platforms can hopefully get used at. And I mean, there's people starting to wait here, which is great news to see. Now the problem is obviously creating these loops. What happens if someone wants to go from here, from Fairford all the way to Royston? Like, that's the thing. That's why people are still going to use the main line, and that's why we need the main line. So anyway, let's see how many, what are people waiting for here? So the main loop, and also there's quite a lot of people waiting for the, I think I just need to wait really and just see how profitable this line will be, because I do think it will come into profit eventually. The right hand, or the right half, I guess you could say. I think I've named it differently. But that's you steaming out there. There's already a train waiting. And how full are you? You've got 64 out of 64, so I mean, I don't really see how we are losing that much on new trains. That is a real question. I mean, you're down to a loss of already 6 million, so you are definitely going to reach the profit. I can imagine, and I'm hoping that you're full. Again, you're waiting for a free path, which this is starting to worry me. I mean, you've gone already, so you're not waiting too long, but this station here is just absolute chock-a-blocks. This is a mainline train, and it's on 168 out of 168. Is it going to empty that much? A nice profit there. So you're probably going to half empty. You're going to take a lot of passengers on, you're going to fill up, and then you're going to continue on. So our new electric train should fit right in here. I mean, here comes another one along. You're not quite full, but after you visit this station you'll be full, that's for sure. So I think definitely using these trains going forward works. And I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to go ahead and create more loops as well. So for example, cutting out rides, that's an option on this loop. We can go ahead and create a smaller loop in between. There's loads of different combinations we can do, and we've obviously got towns which we've not connected up yet to railways either, which is really exciting. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvements. Let's see what we're looking at here. So a lot of passengers, 64 out of 64, so you're totally full. There should be another train coming in already with even more capacity, which is great. Again, you are full. I mean, all the trains are just full, that's the thing. And Haverhill's actually starting to grow over onto this side of the road as well, which is interesting. So we can always go ahead and add in a second street connection very shortly. Anyway, so that's us into 1978, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this episode up here. So these trains they're currently making us a loss. A fair loss. However, that's dropped again, that's down to 5 million. I'm hoping it's just going to continue to drop and drop, because most trains are full, no problem. It's just we need to probably go ahead and, I don't necessarily know up the frequency, but just give them a bit of time. I mean, they're obviously in competition with the main line, and the main line is doing extremely well, but all trains are leaving pretty much full. I mean, you're empty? That's strange. Does no one want to go up to Loughton? I mean, there's people waiting to go both clockwise and anti-clockwise. I don't know why you left empty. But overall, I think if we just give the electric trains time, then they should be good. As we can see here, I mean, there might still be trains leaving the station, to be honest. Is there anyone still waiting to leave? There's not. So everyone's out the depot, which is good. I don't know why you're waiting. And this could be an issue here, yeah, so a lot of trains seem to be clogged up. There's too many trains on this line, and that's the problem, so we'll go ahead and deal with this in the next episodes. It's a bit unfortunate, but once we get things going, hopefully everything should be fine. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode of our Transport Fever Let's Play. Please leave a like rating, subscribe if you are new around here. If you've got any more suggestions, then go ahead and leave them down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd Callum, and I'm out.